Have you ever felt the scramble? That gut-wrenching need for chaos even when stability is right there? Your life is not messy by accident. It is messy by design. We call it the crisis identity. This is not just a character flaw. It is a covert psychological program running your life on a destructive loop. The system is ingenious and cruel. Your body has learned to associate the stress spike, the adrenaline of a fight, the cortisol of a crushing deadline, the moral outrage from an external drama, with the feeling of being alive or worse, being important. Chaos is the cheap dopamine hit that replaces genuine achievement. You are not enduring a crisis. You are addicted to the fight. The survivor lives for the spike. He needs the drama to validate his existence. The absence of conflict forces him to confront the void, the one thing he truly fears, the silence of self-confrontation. In peace, he would have to face his failures, his unfulfilled goals, and the actual architecture of his life. It is easier and chemically more rewarding to seek external chaos. The elite, those who operate in master mode, understand this dynamic with cold clarity. They watch the majority drown in this chaos cycle and use their own emotional silence as the ultimate strategic weapon. Peace for the master is not a passive state. It is a tactical fortress. It is the clean space where strategy is architected, while the survivors are distracted by the noise. In the next few minutes, I will break the code. I will expose the exact chemical and psychological mechanism that forces you to crave chaos. More importantly, I will deliver the invulnerable mind protocol. This is the hard truth. You were programmed for drama, but the choice to build strategic peace is your liberation. It is a brutal path because it demands the renunciation of your deepest vice, the cheap hit of urgency. Your brain is about to reject this information. It prefers the comfort of the crisis loop. But the master inside you demands the truth. The chaos you crave is the prison you built. The survivor mind does not operate on logic, but on chemistry and pattern repetition. Your frantic search for conflict, that tightness in your chest, that rage on the screen, that argument at the dinner table, is the chaos reward cycle in action. When you engage in drama, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline. Chemically, this is identical to a primal organism facing a predator. But your modern mind, rarely facing real threats, translates this hormonal peak as vitality. It is a powerful instant substitute for the slow, painful sensation of true progress and real achievement. The master seeks the dopamine of conquest. The survivor settles for the stress cocktail of survival. The tragedy is that the brain, addicted to this cocktail, begins to fabricate the threat. It does not wait for chaos. It invites and projects it. If your workspace is calm, the survivor will seek out the most toxic gossip. If your relationship is stable, he will reactivate an old fight or manufacture a dispute over a meaningless detail. This is the dark negotiation, the unconscious terror that peace is synonymous with irrelevance or worse, purposeless boredom. The survivor's deep pain manifests in 4 pillars of self-sabotage, what we call the crisis quartet. Pillar 1, the tragedy identity. The survivor molds his entire personal narrative around the struggles he faces. He becomes the hero of his own trauma. I am the one who always has problems. I am the only one who can get this done despite the chaos. This warrior status is a powerful identity reinforcement. The attention and easy empathy he receives for the drama function as a payment of cheap dopamine. He avoids the difficult work of building an identity based on domination and tangible results, preferring the instant reward of an identity based on trauma and constant struggle. People defined by their crises report drastically higher anxiety, not because their lives are tougher, but because they have actively chosen to keep the crisis filter engaged. Pillar 2, the obsession with busyness, emotional noise. Peace demands that you sit with yourself and work methodically on long-term goals. Drama, conversely, creates a sense of urgency that simulates productivity. The survivor is always putting out fires, always busy, and always out of time. This emotional noise serves as a tactical smokescreen to avoid the hardest task: deep, strategic work, which is silent and slow. Most of the crises consuming your day are unconscious distraction mechanisms. Pillar 3. The projection of insecurity, the broken mirror. The human mind struggles to deal with internal emptiness. Instead of filling it with self-construction, the survivor projects it outward, seeking imperfections and chaos in others. Focusing on a colleague's fault, the system's injustice, or a family member's toxicity serves only one purpose: to distract the mind from its own internal execution failure. External drama is a broken mirror that prevents the survivor from facing his own reflection. Pillar 4. The addiction to moral outrage, social dopamine. The most dangerous mechanism today is indignation dopamine. You don't even need a personal drama. The screen is enough. The news and social media cycle is engineered to reward you for feeling rage, outrage, and moral superiority. Every scroll that makes you feel morally superior releases a chemical flood the survivor confuses with doing the right thing. He is addicted to fighting battles that are not his own. The master knows that every second spent on external indignation is a second stolen from the building of his personal dominion. The survivor is unknowingly trading his peace for a cheap chemical fix. You are trading the fortress for the bonfire. The diagnosis is clear. You seek chaos because your brain pays you to, and that is your prison. The great betrayal of survivor mode is not that it hooks you on drama, but that it steals your capacity for choice. It convinces you that chaos is fate, not an option actively chosen day after day. The survivor is a reactive puppet, dangling by gossip, external crisis, and chemical discharge. The master, conversely, is the architect of his own mind. This is the turning point, and this is where the truth becomes difficult to swallow. The blame for how you were programmed to crave the stress cocktail, whether by childhood, culture, or the media system, is not yours. But the responsibility to deprogram that mind and choose strategic peace is, from this moment on, 100% yours. You cannot outsource your serenity. The master operates under a merciless ancient truth, the dichotomy of control. This is the core tactical code of Stoicism. Do not spend time, energy, or attention on anything outside your direct sphere of influence. The survivor spends 90% of his mental life trying to control the uncontrollable. Others' opinions, the headlines, the colleague's reaction, what a toxic relative will say. The master inverts the equation and focuses only on the 10% he governs: his discipline, his reaction, his focus, and his inner peace. The bridge to silent domination begins with an act of renunciation, the renunciation of victimhood, and the renunciation of the drama reward. The feeling of being wronged, of fighting the world, is a deep addiction. It is comfortable because it justifies your lack of progress. The survivor says, "I failed because the world was in chaos." The master says, "I succeeded despite external chaos, because I controlled my inner world." The peace the master seeks is not the absence of problems, but invulnerability to disturbance. Chaos will continue to exist outside your fortress. Gossip will continue. Financial crises will come, and people will continue to act irrationally. What changes is your reaction code. The master does not see conflict as an invitation to combat, but as a leverage test. He asks, "Is this chaos under my control? If not, what is the most efficient and silent action to advance my objectives, ignoring the noise?" By renouncing drama, you are releasing your most valuable energy, the deep focus energy that was previously drained by the crisis bonfire. You are trading the identity of the exhausted warrior for the identity of the serene architect. The cost of this bridge is high, the renunciation of easy attention and superficial empathy that drama brings. But the payment is the most scarce asset of the century: strategic peace. This peace allows you to see the chessboard clearly, while your competitors are blindfolded by the drama they themselves fabricated. From now on, the focus is no longer on understanding your addiction, but on building your fortress. The transition to the master requires more than understanding. It demands a tactical execution protocol. You need a code that rewrites your chemical response and forces your brain to love productive monotony. This is the invulnerable mind protocol in 3 phases. Phase 1, the noise quarantine, focus mapping. The addiction to drama is fueled by constant input. The master must impose a strict input scarcity, the zero notification tactic. For 90 days, eliminate all non-essential notifications on your phone and computer. The survivor uses the cell phone as a dopamine slot machine. The master uses it as a surgical production tool. Digital noise is the main gateway for moral indignation and external drama. By cutting the constant feed, you force your brain to confront boredom. Boredom is not the absence of life, it is the raw material for deep thought. The third-party filter. Impose an immediate silence rule for any conversation that begins with gossip or drama about others. The survivor participates to feel relevant. The master responds with a code phrase, "Is this under my control?" If the answer is no, the conversation ends, or the focus is redirected to productive action. The master understands that gossip is the survivor's currency. He refuses to accept it as payment. Phase 2. The reaction, architecture, the 3-second challenge. The survivor reacts instantly to conflict, releasing the stress cocktail he craves. The master inserts a delay code between the stimulus and the response, the 3-second challenge. When confronted with a situation that provokes anger, indignation, or the desire to prove a point, impose a mental pause of 3 seconds. In this interval, ask, "Does this reaction move me toward my fortress or drag me into the survivor's bonfire?" 9 times out of 10, drama is the bonfire. The renunciation of the instant reaction destroys the chaos reward cycle. You are denying your brain the dose of adrenaline it expects. The non-emotional response. Never respond to criticism, offense, or attacks with the same energy. The survivor matches the energy. The master operates at a superior frequency. Your response must always be neutral, factual, and devoid of emotional validation. If someone tries to drag you into drama, a cold, objective response like, "Understood, we will return to the main subject," is the silent domination strike. You frustrate the other person's addiction to your drama, strengthening your invulnerability. Phase 3. Building peace as a mission, the monotony pillar. The master actively builds peace through repetition and discipline, not by the absence of problems. The productive monotony calendar. Intentionally schedule 80% of your day with tasks that are important, predictable, and frankly, boring. Deep work, repetitive physical exercise, methodical study. The survivor avoids monotony because it offers no emotional spikes. The master seeks it because it is the environment where long-term progress is inevitable. By making your most important work the most boring thing you do, you trade the excitement of chaos for the silent satisfaction of building. The personal peace contract. Define an area of your life. It can be your workspace, your car, or your home, as a zero-drama zone. If chaos attempts to enter this space, it is immediately rejected, without negotiation. This zone is your laboratory for serenity. It trains your subconscious to associate peace with safety and control, breaking the toxic link between chaos and vitality. You now have the complete map of your prison and the key to your fortress. The drama addiction is not a curse. It is a behavioral VLCE that you can and must uninstall. The survivor used chaos as a crutch. The master uses peace as his most potent weapon. The greatest proof of domination is your ability to choose productive boredom over destructive excitement. While the majority chases the next spike of outrage in the news or the next conflict to feel busy, you will be operating in the silence of your fortress, building results that speak louder than any scream or headline. The survivor will always be the sacrificial pawn on the board. The master is the strategist who moves the board. Remember the code. The chaos you crave is the prison you built. As of today, that prison has no locks unless you put them back. Your mental energy is finite. Where you invest it, in the emotional noise of the survivor, or the peace architecture of the master, will determine your fate. Theory alone is just a sophisticated distraction. The master doesn't just know the protocol, he automates it. The transition from the survivor mind, addicted to hormonal spikes, to the mastermind, which feeds on the dopamine of conquest, demands a daily tactical execution that annihilates the old pattern and builds the new reflex. This is why we developed the application map for Silent Domination. It is your tool, day after day, to force your brain to love productive monotony and execute the dichotomy of control. This map takes the three-phase protocol we just delivered, noise quarantine, reaction architecture, and peace construction, and transforms it into a tactical execution guide that eliminates the learning curve. It is the difference between knowing how to swim and winning the crossing. Access to this map is reserved for those who have demonstrated the discipline to absorb this truth until the end. The survivor will have listened to everything and will continue to scroll, looking for new drama. The master, however, sees a protocol and acts. Your only responsibility is to make the decision to no longer be the puppet of your own drama. Silent domination is your only way out. The master acts. The survivor waits for the next stress spike. Your freedom starts now.